Good morning, good afternoon. It's a bad evening for English football. Football isn't coming home until 2024 at least, which means in the semi-final of the World Cup, we have Argentina versus Croatia and France against Morocco. Hopefully, the two underdogs can get to the final. If not, I'm rooting for France. No shame in losing to the winners. But yeah, let's move into the England game first off. Let's all have we've all got a bit to say about it probably.
Yeah.
Amir, start.
More disappointed the fact that we played well and lost that game. Obviously the main talking point is the Harry Kane penalty. I actually have no obviously there is fault in him missing the penalty, but I don't think there's shame in it. It's like the worst scenario possible for a striker. You score one pen, firstly, so having to take another pen is hard. Then he has to take it against the goalkeeper, who he trains and takes pens again, who probably knows his every move. So yeah, no shame in that. He did bottle it, so it's in the Spurs gene. Had to get that one in there. But England played overall very well, and I think we can hold our heads high after that game. What do you two think?
Right. I want to chip in here very quickly. Yeah. We lost to France. Yeah. And I think before this game, we can all pretty much agree that it was the winner of that game was going to be the winner of the whole tournament completely. And yeah, obviously we can go into like details about how like the referee was an absolute abysmal gimp against us. Do you know what I mean? He didn't give us anything. Like Upamecano should have been sent off. Griezmann should have been sent off. All the fouls that weren't given, and then all of it makes no sense.
Their first goal, Saka was fouled.
Yeah, exactly that. Kane, obviously, as you said, a classic Spurs bottled a penalty. Nah, but bless him. Like, you can't really expect to take two penalties in one, and obviously, well, I mean, you can, but you can't. But like, you can't really go out and say, yeah, he's 100% scoring that because you can't expect that of anyone at the end of the day.
The thing is, for me, Blast, I said it to you like the other day. Middle. No keeper stands down the middle.
Brexit pen.
Yeah, Troy Deeney-esque.
Troy Deeney.
World Cup,
the World Cup has got Troy Deeney in it.
But the Kane must be able to kick a ball 100, 120, 100. If he wallops it as hard as he can, if Lloris stands down, if Lloris wants to stand down the middle, it's going to hit him and fall straight back to Kane. I do agree. Or hit it on target and he would have scored it.
He overthought the pen, didn't he?
Yeah, 100%. When you overthink it as well, it just goes wrong, and that's what happened at the end of the day.
If the keeper saves it, fair enough. It's brilliant work from the keeper. Yeah. If you miss the goal completely, that's the most annoying part.
That's annoying, yeah, because you're one of our best strikers to ever grace this national team. And do you know what I mean? You're one of like the best, should I say, Premier League strikers to ever grace the game as well. You're trusted to have that right. Obviously, like, look, we're all saying like we've all missed pens. We're not speaking on his behalf, thinking we're all God's gift and saying we'd fucking score that. But I mean, we might do. But like when you think about it, yeah, you're right. Like as a striker, as a number 9, a true number 9, you've got to think right. My job is to score. Obviously, you got defender. My job is to defend midfield, make play work. His job is to score, and he must have been practicing penalties left, right, and centre throughout training sessions for the extra half an hour after training sessions. Like, why not? Because you know it might come down to it in the end. And he skied it, as you said, Dan. Like as you said, if the keeper saves it, the keeper saves it. It is what it is. But to miss the whole target completely is crazy.
He overthought it. That's what happened.
Goal's not small either. But as you touched on the referee as well.
We don't speak of that. He's a gimp. I can't believe what he's done there.
But whether the referee had a good game or a bad game or an atrocious game, we still had at least 88 minutes of football to score and another penalty that we were awarded.
Yeah,
it's whether it was the save from Bellingham's shot, whether it was Kane missing a penalty, whether it was the referee not giving us another 2 additional penalties we could well have had, whether it was the foul for Saka's goal. I'm sure the French will look at it and go, there were things in the moments in the game that they could have had stuff where they weren't given. But yeah, for me, blaming the referee, you're going to do so much until you got to look at yourself.
It was in our hands.
We had opportunities
100%.
to win.
But they had opportunities as well. That's what people have seen forget. Like Giroud, before the header, he had that half volley. He should have buried.
But that's why because they had 3 shots on target and scored 2 goals. That's the make of champions, whether it's international or club level. If you can score goals, and even if you don't keep it tight, as you said, they conceded 2 and could have well conceded 4 penalties, but they only conceded 1 goal, and they scored 2. Doesn't matter. You don't have to play good football. If you win the game, you win the game. If they go on to win the World Cup and play poor in the final, it's not going to go France 2022 winners in brackets but the game was poor, it's going to go. Their name's on the trophy. They're not going to care.
Yeah. Very quick question. After you finish your point.
Oh no, I was going to say, which I think is the issue with some of the England setup at the minute. It's like game management's poor.
One word answer from both of you guys. Southgate in for Euros or out?
In.
L? Undecided. That's my word.
I'm gonna go out.
Apparently, he's looking at his options. I saw a thing earlier come out.
I don't know where else he'd get a job. To be fair to him, I don't think he's good enough for the Premier.
You'd probably take him at Chelsea by the way you're going.
Knee chance of that.
But the thing is, there's no this is what I was saying to you the other day. It's like, who would we get in? Because it's all well and good.
There's a lot of options. You can get a lot of better managers with actually. Who are tactically better.
I'm not disagreeing that there's better managers, but it comes down to who would the FA employ.
I've got a big question.
The answer is
I want to say a question. You ready? Would you take an Arsene Wenger at England?
I would, but I think it's late now. I think it's too late.
It is a bit too late.
Well,
again,
5 years ago, yes, definitely.
Do not mention that name. Don't mention that name around me. I hate that man.
Why? Why Hodgson?
Oh yeah, he hates him.
But give him at least until qualifying, because whether Eddie
Howe. No, if you give him qualifying, you've got to give him the whole job. Then you give him the whole Euros at that point. No, why?
Eddie Howe becomes available for Newcastle. The job, admittedly, he's had money, but with the squad that he's got there, he hasn't spent what everyone thought he'd spend. He's still got a core of that team, and he is doing well. I don't like him as a person, but I do like him as a manager.
Fair enough, yeah.
Or as you said, Chelsea, you hire and fire managers just as much as we do. Graham Potter could well become available in the next 2 years. You don't know.
You make a great point. You don't know in football. There might be a new up-and-coming manager who leaves their job, like a Pep. I'm not saying Pep would go to England, but you never know. Like as you said,
I think that's why I said if it was me, I wouldn't sack South, or I don't want Southgate to leave, because the unity that he's got, the squad, like how knitted together the squad is probably the best it's been, at least in my lifetime, and probably our families that have watched their England as well.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else is going to be able to do that. And B, as you said, there's a Tuchel available, there's other managers available, and I'm sure the England job is one of the biggest jobs in
desirable, yeah. But there's a lot of baggage that comes with that job.
There's a lot of baggage, but it's also who would the FA employ? As you said, Roy Hodgson, Sam Allardyce, like this, they're not.
But then they had Capellos, they had Sven-Goran Erikssons as well.
We've had everyone,
the whole bunch,
but like every almost play style possible in the last sort of 20 years, and it hasn't worked out. Is the main thing.
That's true. I think we've obviously touched on England. We're all disappointed and stuff. I think we should move on to other countries that are through and who are not through. I think. Can
I just touch on that before you do, Amir?
Of course you can.
So obviously we've got the likes of Argentina, Croatia, Morocco, and France playing it. I think, in my opinion, Dan, obviously I know you want France to win. I want Argentina to win it, so Messi can win it, because, in my opinion, obviously you've got like obviously, Amir, you might disagree with me here because I know you like Suarez. But you've got some all-time greats like Ronaldo and Neymar going out from Brazil and Portugal in the quarterfinals, which obviously I can almost see. Obviously, even before the World Cup started, we wanted a Portugal-Argentina final, so we could see two goats go at it for the final. It's not happening now, unfortunately, and obviously it's quite sad to see Ronaldo go without a World Cup trophy after the 20 years he's provided for us in the World Cup. Neymar as well, obviously, I know he's only 30, but obviously he's mentioning how it might be his last World Cup, but then it might not be because he's only 30, hoping, because obviously I'd love to see a little bit of Neymar continue. Obviously, I remember someone said Ronaldo's sister put up an Insta post saying 41 years old is a great way of life, and obviously Ronaldo will be 41 with the next World Cup. So if we see a Ronaldo at 41 years old for the next World Cup, that'll be unbelievable.
He'll be fit enough to be a squad player. He's not.
I think
he'll be if he's still. I reckon he could hold on for 4 years.
100%. His physique,
not as a starter.
Not as a starter. No. But as like a rotation player. So like come off for 20 minutes or something. Bring on. Yeah, 100%.
As you said, 20 minutes, or they're through in the groups, or they've got 5 or 4 points, and they're through, and they're going. We're just going to play him.
Yeah, 100%.
As you said,
just very quickly, Amir, before you go on to you, but that's what I'm saying, because obviously you see the greats go out, you see Neymar and Ronaldo go out, Suarez obviously in the group stages, all of these like big players obviously with their last World Cup. I think you got that. Obviously, you got your Modric and everything like that. People would love to see Modric win, but in my opinion, I think a Messi World Cup would go down like in history. In my opinion, so yeah,
I think a lot of
obviously I know
players
Daniel
want it. A lot of
hates.
people want it.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I know Daniel doesn't like the Argentinians because of the hand of God, which you know
I
what?
don't like the French either, really, but
Yeah, but then again, obviously, I think my Messi bias is coming into play over the actual Argentina bias. If Messi wasn't part of Argentina squad, I'd hope they go out straight next round. Fuck Argentina, but because Messi's part of them, we want him to win. So it's a tough one.
That's
But
true.
I want Argentina to win.
No, same. I'd love Messi to win. I think he's already my goat, and I think he just solidify everyone else as the goats, everyone's goats if he does win it.
I think Ronaldo and Messi are the goats. I don't think you can top one or another. There's no point comparing stats. There's no point like going at each other's throats for saying Ronaldo's better, Messi's better. I just think they're both like obviously you can say Messi's on a different planet, obviously when it comes to dribbling and footballing ability, but then Ronaldo you'd still want in your team when he was in his prime, 27, 28-year-old Ronaldo, you would not like leave him out of your
Even
squad,
in
would
his
you?
mid-30s, I think greatest goal scorer of all time.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think they're both goats. So
absolutely in their own respects. I mean, in terms of the Argentina game, I mean, I watched all the games this match week. So I thought Argentina Messi was absolutely fantastic. That referee in that game as well was absolutely woeful.
pathetic. 17.
That's one
He's
of the
been sent home
worst.
as well. Have you seen? He's been
Good,
sent
yeah.
home. Yeah, he was
Don't come back.
pathetic that game.
Absolutely deranged. He sent Denzel Dumfries off on penalties.
Yeah, 17 yellow cards. It makes no sense.
Do you know what I mean? I thought
He's
some of his
upset his hair's
decision making. That thing's gone. Yeah, go on, Dan.
I don't agree with handing out that many cards, but I can also see why he said Dumfries off because it was every single time.
It was volatile though. He was very volatile referee.
Was Dumfries not on a yellow
I
already?
think it was. Yeah, it was at the second yellow.
But yeah, but Stan, I understand your point as well. But you still got to understand 17 yellow cards in one game is still a madness. There's 22 fucking players on the pitch, and 17 have been dished out. That's crazy.
Who was it? Was it Enzo Fernandez that walloped the ball into the Dutch subs bench? And there was
Paredes. Yeah.
Paredes was it. But again, that's a yellow card. Van Dijk runs over. That should have been another yellow card. There was two there without all the players shoving each other.
Yeah, and he gave a lot.
But then again, like it's the World Cup. Like at the end of the day, it's going to be a bit hustle and tussle. You're in the quarterfinals at the end of the day. There's going to be a lot of like,
but
you got to accept that.
It doesn't matter whether that's the first game of a league season or a World Cup final. That is unsportsmanlike conduct, and it is a yellow card. But again, it's everything that carried on after it. And then obviously, the one thing I didn't disagree with, which I am going to pull him up on, Messi's handball.
Yeah, that should have been a yellow card. You can't give a yellow card to the.
How are you giving a yellow card for everything else but that?
Yeah, strange. It is strange. It's very strange. That's what I'm saying. Why that referee was poor, but
absolutely. Obviously, the game before that on the Friday, the Croatia game, the Brazil going out on penalties. I mean, I was very critical of Neymar during the game. I did say he didn't really show up to that goal, obviously. And what I wanted to ask you guys is, do you guys agree with their best penalty taker going fifth? Because that's what happened with Neymar.
Terrible decision.
Argentina learned from that mistake in their game. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because Messi took their penalty first. So, yeah, very bad mistake. In my opinion, I'm going to throw it out there and say Rodrigo shouldn't have been on the pitch in the first place. Madrid tax got him on that pitch. So, but
who would you have had instead?
Martinelli.
All I'm saying is, Salah scored more World Cup goals than him, and he was sitting at home part of the tournament.
Listen, Dan. Where was Brazil in the tournament? Where was Senegal?
No. In terms of Neymar, you did touch on it. He might be his last World Cup. I hope it's not because I still want Neymar to prove something. What do you lot think? Is he on the? You know how we got in America? We got the Mount Rushmores. You have the greats on there. Is he in the Mount Rushmore of Brazil? Like,
yes,
I think.
Would
there was no stat when he scored that goal against Croatia in the 100th minute. Wasn't he equaled Pele's record for the all-time?
He did, but he did it in more games and
more games or not. That's still an impressive record.
And he plays further. He doesn't play up front for Brazil. Exactly. I think if you're talking about icons of our generation, then or even icons of football, the fact of if you're talking about like stature and mark left on the game. The fact that he's played for the biggest clubs in the world.
He's a joy to watch. Like when you watch a game, you see Neymar Jr. starting, you're like, this could be fun. Do you know what I mean? Because
he is the most expensive player of all time. His mark he's left on the game is yes, he would be. But if you're talking about underlying stats and stats themselves, I think that's where it stops.
To me, I think Neymar is
he's very underrated in my opinion.
You lot say it, but to me, I don't think he lived up to what I wanted Neymar to be, if that makes sense. I know he's obviously very successful in club football as such, but I think the PSG move, you hear the 200 million euros, etc., etc. In my opinion, he hasn't lived up to the full potential of Neymar, obviously, when we first heard of him, Santos. And I think people might say it's unfair, and I obviously very harsh on him, but maybe it's because I have such high expectations of Neymar, and that's why I don't. Like I fully expected him to win a Champions League with PSG. I thought, do you know what I mean? Like,
still
could,
yeah.
Of course, he could prove me wrong.
Neuer's broke his leg, so he still could.
Yeah, what happened there? That's crazy.
Ski
but yeah, no,
accident.
I know. Yeah, no, but you're right. He has obviously left his mark on football and stuff. So he's on your he's not on my Mount Rushmore, but I think you two from conversation he's on yours.
You know what? I want to wait, Dan. I just want to say something actually before you end on that, because obviously at the end of the day, when you were talking about Ronaldo just earlier, Amir, when you're talking about how mid-30 Ronaldo was still a quality goal scorer, we still Neymar's only 30 at the end of the day.
We do, that's true. But with all the kicks and all that stuff,
but all I'm saying is we've still got maybe 5-6 more years of Neymar. So let's say potentially we could see him have the next World Cup. Let's say he wins it, and then let's say he wins the Champions.
I want him to win it.
Let's say he wins the Champions League with PSG this season or next season or the season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he gets those trophies and builds them up for like the next 4 or 5 years, does he then enter your like?
Absolutely, because that's what he's there to do.
Yeah, okay.
If he wins a Olympics or a Copa America for Brazil,
he hasn't won a Copa America. He was out.
If he does, he does.
He did win the Olympics. He did win the Olympics.
If he wins the Copa,
said if he wins it again, if he wins the Olympics again or a Copa.
I think so. I think they're the international trophies. I think that's to me, it's the trophies now as well, the Pelés and Ronaldo. Another player, though, I do want to ask you a lot is who had an absolutely amazing game against Brazil, Luka Modric. And in terms of Modric, I want us three to try. It's difficult. Top 5 midfielders of all time. I think we can do it together. Do you lot firstly?
We can name 3 straight off the bat. To be fair,
who's the 3?
Iniesta, Xavi, and Modric.
That's 3, not in any particular order.
If we're doing our generation, it would have to be KDB and Zidane for me.
KDB
if we're doing like the
one, Pirlo go in there
based off the ones that I've seen.
Pirlo might go in there.
Andreas Pirlo. I think for me, Zidane.
Our generation, then. Zidane retired in what? 2007.
Well, no, but ones that we've sort of seen.
Oh,
because we've got. I know it was a tail end of Zidane, but it was also the tail end of Pirlo as well. But I think
I completely agree with you guys. I think we've got the 4: the Zidane, the Xavi, the Iniesta, the Modric. Who would we complete the 5? Is it KDB?
Yeah, he's currently, I'd say, the best midfielder in the world right now. And to hold that record, maybe for the next, because how old is he? How old is De Bruyne?
Behind you, Bellingham, of course.
He's 31. So then technically De Bruyne's still got a good 2-3 years left of his, like, this amount.
Well, longevity, a lot of players these days do go up to 36, 37, like Luka Modric does. So there is more longevity in the game.
Exactly.
Maybe, I think Andreas Pirlo potentially for now, but I think KDB will overtake it. I honestly think KDB will.
KDB's quality. It's like, obviously people are going to like slam us down maybe because of the fact that he had a bad World Cup, this, that, the other, but it's not just down to one player at the end of the day. Obviously you can say, Messi, but Messi's from a different planet. So
it's almost like same as what you lot said to me about the Haaland and Mbappe conversation, and it was like, because De Bruyne is not in an amazing team. Not Holland, sorry. Belgium persisted with their like golden generation of 4 years ago.
Yeah,
and that they are too old. And Martinez isn't the world's best
player. A lot of players have that. A lot of people have that issue of not letting go.
If you was to put, for example, as the conversation was De Bruyne into that France team, or as I said, the Haaland and Mbappe, if you just put Haaland into the France team, he'd automatically play better because he's surrounded by better players. The game's higher.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Remember, obviously, it was the question was asked about Haaland whether he can play for England or not, whether he should have played for England or not, and he was like, well, he lived in England for 3 years and he lived in Norway before that, so he said, I'm completely Norwegian, so there's no.
Yeah, and then
he never plays in this actual tournament.
Yeah, imagine we'd be set for England in it after Kane. But final thing, and I think it's a really good thing for us to end this on. Morocco became the first African country to reach a semi-final of the World Cup. I think Morocco's spirit, the team, everyone involved, Amrabat playing well, Ziyech is playing well, Hakimi, the goalkeeper Bono, striker on the
their striker's a bit of a donkey still, but yeah, the rest of them are good.
The header that he scored. Yeah, good luck to him. Good luck to him.
Would you
No.
not think of Morocco?
Actually,
Do you think an
no.
underdog
Please
story
tell
could
me you
happen?
guys have seen that video of that little girl.
No.
Context.
What is it?
The little girl, a little girl, the Moroccan fan, like taking the piss out of Ronaldo, saying he's going back to the airport.
Nah.
Oh, I saw that with the
I
Spain
think-
fans here.
I think my moment.
Everyone's
of the
like,
World
right,
Cup.
France, go just beat Morocco. Everyone was like, yeah, we'd see Morocco now, and everyone's seen that video, and they're like, yeah, no, actually, no.
I think
Yeah.
my moments of the World Cup with a Saudi fan going, "Where's Messi?" and looking in the reporter's pocket, or that reporter
was
going to the
fun.
Welsh fans. What did
Right.
you think of the win when they lost 2-0 to Iran? That was funny.
Cheeky.
I think they're my highlights of the World Cup.
Highlights. Yeah. Obviously Morocco, underdog story. Obviously Muslim country from obviously background and stuff. Obviously, like being from Muslim background, I think is amazing what they've done, especially the spirit. And I think a lot of Muslim Arab countries are behind them. But final question before we end the podcast, boys. Who's winning the World Cup now? We've got the final four.
Argentina.
Argentina.
Okay, just quick point. What I don't want an Argentina, Morocco, or a France, Croatia final because we saw what happened last with France, Croatia. I don't want it.
You want a France, Argentina final?
I want France, Argentina, or a Croatia, Morocco.
France, Argentina will be the most amazing final.
Evenly matched.
Yeah, France,
Dan,
Argentina.
who's your winner? Who's winning the World Cup?
I said France. France.
I predicted France. I'm going to stick with them, but my heart wants Argentina. I think that's the best time to end it.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, and we'll tune in next week we'll have the final.
Oh yeah. In a bit.